We have many clients and like many people like around the web are saying, okay, WordPress is much cheaper. You're just gonna need to pay for like few bucks of hosting and like you're gonna be done with it. But if you're working on any more serious projects, like not even an enterprise, but like just a bigger website, you're gonna need a lot of WordPress plugins in order to make it work. And every single one of those plugins costs money if you want to have it constantly being updated and secure and like stuff like that. So in this video, I want to go over all of the plugins that you would probably need to use in order to have the same functionality like you get in Webflow out of the box. So the first kind of functionality I want to go over are the forms and like the general form functionality. So in WordPress, you're probably going to be using something like WP Forms to go ahead and have like the form functionality and basically like be able to create different forms with checklists, names, etc, etc. And then additionally, because I mean, I was developing in WordPress like around 6 years ago, and I know that I've used both of those tools. Additionally, you're probably going to be using Opt-in Monster to create pop-ups, to create banners, and like many different things to try to kind of get as much as conversions as you can on your website. And like even for like both of those tools, like all of them cost like money per year. And like at the end of the video, I've created like a Google sheet that's gonna basically add all the yearly costs for the plugins on the WordPress side versus the native Webflow functionality plus hosting, and see kind of how they compare on that front. So like I said, like in Webflow, like we're going to be able to have everything natively in Webflow. If you want to create a pop-up, you're going to like basically create a pop-up out of HTML. You're going to use Webflow interactions to trigger it whenever you want to. And you're going to be able to replicate all of the functionality that Opt-in Monster has for free in Webflow. And then like in terms of WP Forms, you're going to be able to create forms and add them anywhere on the page you want to pretty easily natively in Webflow itself. Well, I want to go over SEO and SEO functionalities. So like if you want to basically do like SEO on local SEO and some advanced SEO functionalities, like you can see here that AO SEO is doing, like creating sitemaps, creating schemas, creating like on-page analytics and whatever, SEO audit checklist, robot.txt editor, and like everything like that. Like you're gonna need to pay on WordPress for that. Versus on Webflow, everything we've just listed out, and we even have a video on our channel just going over some of the Webflow SEO features. Everything is going to be kind of completely for free on Webflow versus a plugin you're going to need to manage, update, upkeep, and pay on the WordPress side. We go into the builder itself. So like WordPress, as you know, doesn't come with a standard builder that you can create an amazing website with. So you will need to pay for that also. I've chosen Elementor because I know I was using that before Webflow. So like in terms of pricing, like we're gonna need to pay like $49 per year for Elementor. Versus like on Webflow, we're gonna be using kind of the designer of Webflow to create everything, to create components later on, and like just to have the whole UI to build a new website pretty easily. Like as Webflow recently launched the memberships, I've included a comparison of MemberPress, which is a paid feature on WordPress, versus memberships, which is included in the Webflow. So included the Webflow business hosting, not the CMS one, but the business one. So that's gonna be included, and like that's gonna be the functionality you're gonna be getting on Webflow natively, kind of just out of the box. Backups, like the thing that Webflow does the best is like backing up your website whenever you need to, and that's happening automatically. You have a really easy to use UI to go ahead and back up the website, whereas if you were to do the same thing in WordPress, you would have to pay a plugin of some sort to be able to do like that sort of functionality. So like you can see here on Webflow backup, you can press command, like you can press Control Shift and S, I think it is. Like when I have my keyboard next to me, I can actually kind of just sense it and kind of know where it is and save a backup like manually. And then Webflow is also going to be doing automatic backups, so you don't have any problems if you mess up something on the website or something or you break something. You can always have a version to go back to and like to reference back. Then we go to speed and like the performance of the website itself. On WordPress, you're probably going to be installing something like VP Rocket and using that to optimize your website. And you're not even gonna come close, in my opinion, to like the Webflow performance. So on Webflow, out of the box, if you know how to develop the website and you develop it properly, you're gonna have like 90 plus kind of speeds on desktop, and you're gonna pass all of the Web Vital tests needed, versus like using an external plugin for something like that. Then, if you wanna basically a secure WordPress website, because like it seems like WordPress is more of an operating system. You can catch viruses on it. Like if you don't update plugins on time, somebody can hack in and break into your website. And there are many security constraints. You're going to be using something like Security to kind of upkeep your website and make sure that it's secure enough, versus like on Webflow, like everything is integrated. You don't have third-party integrations that can merge into your Webflow website and break it, versus you can just maybe add a two-factor authentication if you want to, and like to be a little bit more secure, and nobody's gonna be able to come and break into your website. Only way somebody can do something on your website is like if you share the kind of secret key for the API with somebody. But like if you're doing any sort of development on that front, like that should be pretty securely stored, and like you're gonna have a bulletproof experience on Webflow that is gonna be working year in and out. Like you're not gonna have any plugins like being outdated and then breaking your website or causing any of the security constraints, or a new Webflow update like WordPress has, like WordPress 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 or whatever. Like on Webflow, like the features are just getting added and everything is being fixed, so you're not gonna have any security breaches if you update or don't update the new version of that. After that, we're going to search functionality. So on WordPress, you would have to pay for a plugin to kind of have the search functionality, versus on kind of Webflow where you have native search functionality integrated into the platform. After that, we're going to the code snippets, and that's the thing that I hated the most, kind of how hard it is to actually go ahead and add custom code on on WordPress. Starting out when I didn't know how to write a lot of code, like it required a plugin like WP Code to be able to add code globally to like page settings and stuff like that, and like you had to watch tutorials on how to do it. Versus on Webflow, like custom code can be added pretty easily, like even directly on the page, or by going to the project settings and just kind of adding custom code per page basis, or even to the whole project basis. Like all of that is going to be pretty straightforward and without any third party. If you want to schedule posts or do anything like that, but if you want to schedule posts and kind of have a lot more publishing kind of functionality, you're going to need to pay for a plugin for that on WordPress. Versus kind of on Webflow, you just have scheduled publishing as a native tool that comes directly in Webflow, and like basically you're just going to be able to schedule posts and have like all of the editorial things you need without any third-party plugins. Then we're coming to the hosting itself. Like as you know, that's where WordPress is going to be a lot cheaper. Like the basic package is around like 71 pounds per year. I'm not sure why it is in pounds. But I would go with the deluxe, like just making sure that we have like a little bit more storage, like, and a little bit more kind of functionality on the website itself. So that's gonna run you around 100 pounds, like let's say $100 per year. Versus Webflow is gonna be 39 per month, which is gonna be closer to $500 per year. The final thing is like kind of the difference also in terms of maintenance. We do kind of offer maintenance at our agency Flow Ninja for our clients, but that is usually not maintenance, that is ongoing development, developing new pages, developing new features, and like constantly adding new stuff to the website. Versus when I was doing things on WordPress, I mean, you constantly need to check things, to do security checks, to do like backups, and like just to make sure that the website is working month to month. Just leave it for like 2 years if that's like a bigger like website, and like hope that everything is gonna work fine. So I went ahead and find like maintain.com, like just the cheapest possible maintenance package, which is gonna be doing weekly updates to your WordPress. Like it's gonna be doing 24/7 security monitoring, because the security is like a big concern. Like if your website gets hacked, I'm not sure like why is that even like an option, like for your website, like hacked website repair, and then like secure like offsite backups for the website also. So like coming to all of that, like even like down below in the video, we're gonna be linking this Google Sheet so you can compare it and maybe give us some suggestions. Maybe it's not that big of a difference. Like from my experience, this was how much we usually paid for the type of website we're building at our agency. And that is usually websites for funded startups and enterprises. Like, so a little bit more bigger websites, not like your mom and pop shop kind of website. For those, like it might be cheaper, but like even for those, like you're gonna need many of these features in order to have a successfully running website. And coming to the costs, like you can see that the total yearly cost for all of these kind of plugins for WordPress can come like to 2.2K, something like that. Versus on Webflow, we have the cost be like $500. So like the price difference is like a lot. So like it's 4 times the difference. WordPress would be 4 to 5 times more expensive, like if you bundle everything up together, than Webflow. And just because of that, even though it's not apparent, like when you do start building a website, that's why we feel that Webflow is like even a much better alternative than WordPress, and also a much cheaper one, if you compare to everything that needs to be kind of connected together and tied together in order to have all of the functionality you need. So I would love to hear more things about kind of WordPress versus Webflow, kind of maintenance costs and like all the plugins and no plugins on Webflow, kind of down below the comment, so we can start a nice comment right below.